Right. Uh, Hello, friends. So, welcome back to another session. In this session, we will start from where you left in our last session. We will learn some more questions about Java, some interview related questions. Okay. So, let me share my screen and then we'll get started. Okay. Yeah. So, uh, in last session we left from 69 number uh, questions. Now we will start from here again. So explain throw keyword in Java. What is throw keyword? So sometimes see we have a requirement to throw our custom exception. Custom exception such as user not found exception, balance insufficient exception, customer not found exception, employee not found exception, session expired exception, something like that. That some user defined exception we want to throw. So that exception, how we can throw that, we can throw using throw keyword. Using throw keyword, we can throw that exception. Okay. Can we write any code after throw statement? No. The question is no. So the answer is no. You can't. If you want to throw any, if you want to throw any exception, so at what line you are throwing exception? From that line, after executing that line, your control will return to the caller of method. From where you are calling, at that line it will go, and then it will check whether the exception is handled or not. If that exception handled, it will it will provide that exception to the exception handler. Otherwise it will otherwise it will throw the exception to caller of the method. So it will do in this type of chain. So if you write any statement after the throw statement, will not be executed because control will not go to that statement. Even if your compiler will throw a error, your compilation error you will see. Okay. Next, explain importance of throws keyword in Java. See, throw and throws, two are different keywords. Throws used to throw the custom exception, and throws is used at method signature, method level signature. If you want to define any method, in that method signature you will tell, yeah, this method will throw this exception. You need to tell that one. Generally it will be used for checked exception. Unchecked exception not required. For checked exception, if you want to throw any checked exception, you want to restrict, yeah, this this method has to throw this exception. You are restricting that one. It means you can define method level exception. So whoever is calling that method, at that statement, the developer has either to handle the exception or has to throw the exception to the caller of method. So that is the importance of throws keyword. Method level signature, something like that. I think that signature is not given here. So public static void main throw ie, some exception, ie, input output exception or some exception. IE stands for exception. That's it. Here you can give throwable, you can give exception, you can give any other exception. It's up to your choice. You can use like that. Fine. Next, explain the importance of finally over return statement. See, finally over return statement, see, what is the importance? Finally will executed or return statement will executed? Suppose something is like that, you are returning from the try block, or you are returning from the cache block, but finally block is there. Then will finally block will be executed? The question is, will, if you are returning from try block and cache block, both you are returning. In that case, if exception occur, it will return from cache block. If exception not occur, it will return from try block. But finally block is there. So question is whether the finally block will be executed. So the answer is yes. So which one is important first? Finally or return statement? Finally. Finally will execute fast, then then return statement will execute it. So finally block is more important than the return statement. Yes. Next, explain a situation where finally block will not be executed. Suppose if you are terminating your JVM, then it will not execute. Simple. If you are terminating or you are shutting down your JVM, your finally block will not be executed. Okay. Next, can we use catch statement for checked exception? Can we use catch statement for checked exceptions? Catch statement is who can write if it is checked or unchecked. It's not a problem. If there is no chance of raising an exception in our code, then we can't declare catch block. We can't declare catch block handling handling checked exception. The raises compiler time error if we try to handle the checked exception when there is no possibility of catching exception. Okay. Next, what are user defined exception? Any exception that you define that is a user defined exception. So suppose user not found exception, record not found exception, student not available, something like that. Any exception if you give, that will be a user defined exception. And user defined exception generally you should create as a unchecked exception. It should not be checked exception. Checked exception means either developer has to handle or has to throw, it has to do. But user defined exception uh, is recommended to keep a customized exception class as unchecked. Okay. Next, can we rethrow the same exception from the cache handler? The answer is yes. You can do it. Whether you want to you want to throw the same exception, or if you want to create a new exception and you want to throw, you can do. It's up to your choice. Okay. Can we have nested try statement in Java? Yes. Try inside it, one more try can be that in the head, that one more try can be that. So nested try can be there. Okay. Explain the importance of throwable class. So you can say throwable is the root of all exception, root class of all the exception, that is a throwable exception. Okay. All exceptions are driven from or derived from throwable class. And the two main class of throwables are exception and error. Exception will have a runtime exception again. Okay. And how many methods are there? How many methods are there in the throwable? Throwable has a three method: print, stack, trace, get message, and to string. So explain the importance of throwable class and its method. So three methods are there, and it's important because this is a root of all the root of all exceptions. All exceptions are derived from throwable. Okay. Next, explain what when class not found exceptions will be raised. When class not found exception will be raised, when 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 your class is not available in class path. Simple, you can say like that. When your class is not present in your class path, you are trying to load some class but that class is not present, it will give class not found exception. Suppose you compiled some file, then later you deleted some .class file from that files. What will happen? Definitely, your class will not be there. So it will say class not found exception. Okay. Next, explain when no class definition found exception will be raised. Suppose Dot class file is available at a compilation time, but not at the runtime. Runtime is not available. Compilation time it's available. This error is thrown when JVM tries to load the class, but no definitions for the class is found. No class definition found will occur. The class may exist at a compile time. Compile time class is there, but unable to find at runtime. So no class definition found exception. Okay. Next, some of the questions are thread related. So what is thread? Before to see what is thread, what we'll see what is a process. So what is process? A process is a program in execution. That is a process. Every process have their own memory space. Process are heavy weight and require their own address space. One or more threads make a process. See, you can say that uh, your process, like you are opening one text editor such as Notepad++, one process. You are running a music player, one process. You are opening browser, one process. So these all are the one processes, and each process will have a threads. So what is thread? Thread is the part of process. You can say like that. It's a lightweight, and they share a same address space, but process will execute it separately in your memory location. Okay, fine. The difference between process and thread is here. Program in execution, separate path of execution in a program. One or more thread is a called a process. Okay, processes are heavyweight, threads are lightweight. Process require separate address space, but thread will use in same address space. Process require separate intercommunication. Interprocess communication is expensive, and in inter thread communication is less expensive as compared to process. भी मिलाते हैं?
नहीं भी में क्या है
फिल्म मिलाते
तो एक किलो पटे मैं किलो की सागे बात हो रही है लाइव हो रही है मुकड़ी
लाइव है तो
हैं
लाइव
ये
है
सागे बोलने लग रही है अच्छा
सागा में पढ़ वो सागा में लाइव है पर यूट्यूब पर
अच्छा अच्छा वो बैठा हुआ है
वो
कैमरा बैक में चालू कर रखी
चल रहा है
मैं फोन में कर रही
अभी तुम देख सकते
तेल
हो
लगी तो हो रही है
कार्ड देख कर चलिए यार
मैं जो करी है यार इन्हीं ने फोन में ठीक करना कोई तो बंद बात ये
what is multitasking? Performing multiple tasks at the same time called multitasking. Multitasking means performing more than one activity मन्ने दे लेना है at a time on a computer. Example, using separate sheet, using calculator at the same time is a multitasking. Okay. What are different type of multitasking? What are different type of multitasking? Process based multitasking and thread based multitasking. Two types of multitaskings are available. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, next. What is process based multitasking? Like running multiple processes, it allow run to more than one program concurrently. In a process based multitasking, a process is a smaller part of a code. Example, running MS Word and MS PowerPoint at the same time. Two multitasking. Thread based multitasking, like run part of a program to run concurrently. Okay, for example, formatting a text and printing a Word document at the same time. Java support thread-based multitasking. Why it is not supporting process-based multitasking? Because when we will create one application, Java application, that will considered as a process. In that one, you will do multitasking. That's why it is happening like that. You understood like that. What are the benefits of multi-threaded program? What is the benefit? It's a benefit because if you have to do lot of operations, you can do that simultaneously. Simply, multi-threading enables you to use idle CPU to another threads which result in a faster execution of program. Simple. Multi-threading enables to use idle time of CPU. You can utilize your resources CPU, which result in a faster execution of a program. Simple. Explain thread in Java. Explain thread in Java. Thread is an uh, independent path of execution with the program. A thread consists of three parts: virtual CPU, code, data. At a runtime, threads share code and data, and it will execute in the same address space. Every thread in Java is an object of java.lang.thread class. Okay. List of API that supports thread. So java.lang.thread, you can create a thread using thread class, or you can create using a runnable interface. And object, any object that will in that object class, it will have some method like wait with some time, notify all. So all these methods are used for a thread. We want to tell to thread, if you are applying wait, it means what? We are telling thread to wait. Object is telling to thread to wait for some time. Suppose one person, one work that require this object, in that, if that object is already in use, definitely you can use. So object will tell to thread, please wait for some time. Once the thread has to execute it, so what your object will observe that, yeah, other thread is waiting, please call that thread to execute. So it will notify all, something like that. Okay. This package and the concurrent package, third one is a concurrent, Java util.concurrent. This package has a classes and interfaces that supports concurrent programming. Example: executor, interface, future task, etc. Explain about main thread. So what is main thread? When your JVM starts your application, your Java application, it will start from main method. So the main method is one thread. Your JVM will create a one thread, give that thread name is as a main, and it will start. So that is a main thread. All threads, whatever you will create in your Java application, will be the sub will be the childs of a main thread. Main thread is the parent of all threads. All the child thread spawn from the main thread. Main method is the last thread of the PC execution. When JVM calls main method, it start a new thread. Main method is a temporarily stopped while the new thread starting running. In how many ways we can create thread in Java? Two ways are there: by extending thread class and by extending runnable interface. Which one is best? Runnable interface is best, because if you want to achieve multiple inheritance, then definitely runnable is the best choice. Okay. Explain creating thread by implementing runnable interface. This is fast and foremost way to create a thread. By implementing runnable interface and the implementing run method, we can create a new thread. Method signature public void. This is a method signature. Run and start point of a point for execution of another thread within our program. Okay. Something like that. You have to make it. Explain creating a thread by extending thread class. So that is also straightforward. You can do it. Just you have to extend thread class, and by extending that thread class, you have to you have to implement the run method again, and you can start it. Which is the best approach for creating a thread? Which is the best approach from them? The best way to creating a thread is to implementing runnable interface. When we extend thread class, we cannot extend any other class. But if we don't want, yeah, then we can go with the thread class also. Explain the importance of thread scheduler in Java. What is thread scheduler? Thread scheduler is a part of JVM. It's a part of JVM. Determine which thread to run at this moment, because it will take some priority. Thread scheduler will do execution on basis of the thread priority. By default priority is 5, mini priority is 1, max priority is 10, default priority is 5. So if you don't set the priority, it will all threads will have a same priority. So it will pick by round robin fashion, like one after they giving this much time it will thread will be executed in round robin. So who will do all these jobs? Thread scheduler will do this job. And where is thread scheduler? It's part of your JVM. Okay. Explain the life cycle of thread, how the thread will be executed. So see, first time thread will be new state when you create it. Then it will be in runnable state, like it's ready to start. Then it will be in running state, like it is in running. From running it can go to wait, it can go to block, it can go to sleep state. Sleep method you apply sleeping, or you applied wait state, something like that. It's waited, it's blocking, something like that. Fine. And then it can go to dead state. Dead means thread is no longer to be executed. Dead means dead. Thread is dead state when thread is a run method execution is completed. It's executed. Okay. Can we restart a dead thread? The answer is no. Okay. Can one thread block the other thread? Yeah, thread cannot block to other thread. No. No one thread cannot block the other thread. It can block the current thread that it is executing itself only. Okay. Can we restart a thread already started? No. See, thread is already started. How can you restart it? If you restart, it will give illegal thread state exception, because thread state is already in running. You cannot start it. If it is a blocked or it is awaited, then you can resume it. That is a different thing. Or it is ready to start it, you can start it. What happen if we don't override run method? What happened? What is the default implementation in thread class? The default implementation is will not do anything. Immediately it will be executed. That's it. Okay. Can we override run method in Java? Can we overload run method in Java? You can do. Overloading you can do. But will your overloading method executed? No. Who will execute the run method? You are going to execute run method? No. We are not going to run execute method. We are just starting our thread. Thread internally calling run method. So in that case, it will call only the run method with no parameter, no argument. Other method you are giving with argument, how your thread will know your JVM scheduler know. No one will know that. So it will not be executed, but you can still. Yeah, question is, can we overload run method? The answer is yes, we can do. But we can overload run method, but thread class start method will always call run method with no argument. Okay. What is a lock or purpose of lock? See, some of the threads, some of the objects are shareable, but anyway that is a shareable, but it should be used by one. It should not be like multiple are using the resources at same time. It should not be like that. Thread is shared, but one after one you should use. In that case you have to lock the object. So thread will lock that one. So that is a lock. Lock is also called monitor is used. Lock is also called monitor. Monitor is used to prevent access to a shared resources by multiple thread. A lock is associated to a shared resources. Simple. Okay, fine. In how many ways we can do synchronization in Java? Or you can ask the question in this way also, in how many ways we can lock the resources? We have to use synchronized keyword. The first thing, we have to use synchronized keyword to lock the thread, sorry, to lock the resource. But how we will use that one? There are two ways to use the synchronized keyword or to lock the resource. One is synchronization we can use in a method signature, or You can use a synchronized block. In that block, you will define reference variable and you can lock the resource and you can use it. So there are two ways. Okay. What are synchronized method? Like method is a synchronized something like that. Public synchronized void method name. So this is synchronized. It means it will be locked. By default, we are telling whoever is using this method, this object, please lock it. Automatically it will be locked. You are not telling to thread. In thread you want to do manually, you can use synchronized block if you want. Hmm. When do we use synchronized method in Java? If multiple threads try to access a method where method can manipulate the state of object, in such scenario we can declare a method is a synchronized. When a thread executing synchronized method, it is possible to execute other synchronized methods simultaneously by other threads. No, no. Because it's locked. When a thread is executing a synchronized method, then it is possible to execute other synchronized methods simultaneously by other thread. Not possible. Not possible. But no, it is not possible because the synchronized method by other thread when try to inside a synchronized method. No, it is not possible to execute synchronized method by other thread when a thread is inside a synchronized method already. Okay. When a thread is executing a synchronized method, then it is possible for the for same thread to access the other synchronized method of an object. Yes, it's possible. See, one thread is executing on one object. In that object, other method is also there that is synchronized. You can do it because you have already logged on the object. Okay. Yes, it's possible. The answer is yes. Hmm, fine. What are synchronized block? Synchronized block, like you have to use synchronized. Here you have to give object reference and the code. So it will object this reference variable. Lock this object. Synchronization few lines of a code rather than complete method with the help of synchronized keyword are called synchronized block. Okay. When do we use synchronized block and advantages of using synchronized block? See, if very few lines of code require synchronization, then it is recommended to use synchronized block. The main advantage of synchronized block over synchronized method is to reduce the waiting time for the threads to improve the performance of the system. Okay. What is class level lock? Class level lock, like you can lock the class, you can lock the class instances because class can have a static member also. So the static member, if you want to use and you want to lock that one on a class level. That's it. Okay, can we synchronize the static method? Uh, can we synchronize static method in Java? Yeah, that is also possible. In every class has a unique lock associated. If a thread wants to execute static synchronized method, it need to acquire first class level lock. When a thread was executing static synchronized method, no other thread can execute static synchronized method. Hmm. Yes, because lock will be acquired on class level. Mhm. Okay, but it can execute the following methods simultaneously. Normal static method, yes. Normal instance method, yes. It can execute. As the instance method will be available for only object level, so it can be done. Fine. Can we use synchronized block for primitives? Uh, Questions is, can we use synchronized block for primitives? Synchronized blocks are applicable only for object. If we try to use synchronized block for primitive, we will get a compilation error. We cannot do. Okay. What are thread priorities and importance of the thread priority? See, when there are several waitings, thread priority determine which thread to run. In Java programming language, every thread has a priority. A thread priority inherits priority of the its parent thread. So what is the parent thread priority? Main thread is a parent, and main thread has a default priority 5, so all thread will have the same priority. Okay, from that thread, if you are starting any other thread, that thread priority will be the same as this thread priority. Okay, explain different types of thread priority, like minimum priority is 1, maximum priority is 10, and default priority is 5, or normal priority is 5. How to change the priority? You have to use set priority method. That's it. Pass some value, you can set it. Okay. If two threads have a same priority, which thread will be executed first? Uh, we are not guaranteed which thread will be executed. First, when the threads have a same equal priority, it depends on the thread scheduler, which to which thread to execute thread scheduler to get to the scheduler uh, can do any of the following things. It can pick any thread from the pool and run it. It can give equal priority for all the threads, or it will take some round robin also. It depends. We cannot guess it. What all methods are used to prevent thread execution? Yield, join, sleep. Sleep, okay. Yield, join, and sleep. Okay. What is yield method? What is yield method? Yield method is the current running thread to move into the runnable state. Suppose current thread is running, and the same thread wants to give the chance to other thread to execute. It means we have to use yield method. So yield method makes a current thread a running thread to move into the runable state. Runnable means ready to run, and gives chance to remaining thread for equal priority, which are in waiting state. Yield makes current thread to sleep for a specific amount of time, and there is no guarantee that moving a current thread from a running to runnable state. All depends on the thread scheduler. It doesn't guarantee anything. Hmm. Calling yield method in a thread does not have any effect on object. Object has a lock. The thread does not lose any lock if it has acquired a lock either. Okay. Is it possible for yield thread to get a chance for its execution again? It depends on scheduler. I think yield execution current thread to sleep uh, amount of time and gain opportunity for other thread. So equal priority to execute. Thread scheduler decide whether to get a chance for execution again or not. If all thread depends on the mercy of a thread scheduler. Okay. Explain the importance of join method. So join method, like you want to execute one thread after another, then you have to use join join method. Okay. A thread can invoke a join method in other thread to wait for the other thread to complete its execution. Assume we have two threads, t1 and t2 threads. A running thread t1 move invokes join on thread t2. So join method will be used. Okay. I think we have explained this also in our tutorial. Like one thread you want to execute after thread, then you can use join. Simply you just use join. Start the thread and join it. Join means once this will be executed, it will execute the other thread. Okay, fine. Explain the purpose of sleep. Sleep means like a method cases current thread to the sleep mode and specify amount of time. Sleep method is a minimum amount of time to current thread sleep, but not affect exact amount of the time. Assume a thread has a lock on it. Calling sleep method on the thread will we release the lock. Calling sleep method on thread which has a lock doesn't affect. Lock will not be released through the thread. Sleeps is the specific amount of time. Okay. Lock will not be released. Can sleep method case another thread to sleep? No. No. Answer is no. Explain about the interrupted method. The thread interrupted method is used to interrupt the current thread or another thread. It doesn't mean that the current thread to stop immediately. It is politely way of telling or requesting to continue your present work. That is the reason we may not see the impact on interrupt call immediately. Explain about the interrupted communications and how it take place in Java. Usually, threads are created to perform a different unrelated task, but there may be a situation where they may perform a related task. Interrupted communication in Java is done with the help of following three method like wait, notify, or notify all. Wait, notify, notify all. Next, explain wait, notify, and notify all method of object class. Wait method makes the current thread sleep and release the lock. Wait means it will release the lock, but sleep will not release the lock. Hmm. Okay. Release the lock until some other threads acquire the lock and call notify. Notify makes up the thread that call wait and on the same object. Notify all method wakes up the thread that are called wait on the same object. The highest priority thread will run first. All the above three methods are three methods are the object class and are called only in a synchronized context. Hmm. Fine. Wait, notify, notify all. Explain why wait, notify, and notify all methods are in object class rather than the thread class. Why? First, to know why they are in object class, we should know what wait, notify, notify all do method do. Wait, notify, notify all methods are object level method. They are called on same object. Object wait, notify, notify all are called on a shared object so that they are kept in object class rather than thread class because object will tell to wait or notify to thread. Illegal monitor state exception. What is the illegal state monitor exception? See, illegal state monitor exception like when wait, notify, and notify are called on a synchronized thread. Wait, notify, notify all must always be called in a synchronized context. If it's not a synchronized context and you are trying to call wait, notify, notify all, it will give illegal state monitor because object is not logged. Object is not logged. Then to whom you are trying to release the lock? Which thread you are telling? You are telling to thread, but it's not logged. No, that's why you no need to. It will give illegal monitor exception. When wait, notify, notify methods are called, does it release the lock? Yes. Wait, notify, notify all methods are always called on a synchronized context. When these methods are called in a synchronized context, so when they enter the first synchronized context, uh, then acquire a lock on a current object. When notify all methods are called, lock is released on that object. Okay. Explain which of the following method release the lock and when and lock. Yield, join, sleep, wait. Which one? See, method. Yield will not release the lock. Sleep will not release the log. Join, not release the log. Yeah. Wait, notify all will release the log. What are thread group? This thread group. Thread group is a group of threads that and other threads group. It is a way of grouping threads so that actions can be performed on a set of threads for easy maintenance and a security purpose. For example, we can start and stop all thread groups. We rarely use thread group class. By default, all the threads that are created belongs to default thread group of the main thread. Every thread belongs to the belongs to thread group belongs to thread group. Threads are belonging to a particular thread group cannot modified threads belonging to the another thread group. Okay. What are local variable? Thread local variable are visible associated to the particular thread rather than object. We declare thread local object as a private static variable in a class every time a new thread access object by using getter and setter. We are accessing copy of object. Whenever a thread calls get or set method of a thread local instance a new copy of associated with the particular object. What is the daemon thread? Daemon thread are the thread which run in background, or you can say that helping other threads. These are a service thread and work for the benefits of other threads. Garbage collection is one of the good example of daemon thread. By default, all threads are non-daemon thread. Okay. How to make a non-daemon thread as a daemon thread? Set daemon. Set daemon. Yes. True. Something like that you have to do. Hmm. Can we make main thread as a daemon? Main thread is always non-thread. We cannot change the non-daemon nature of a main thread. Okay. Nested class and inner class. Okay. So in the next session we will start from interview questions on nested classes and inner classes. So, thank you and have a nice day.